Hello, movie patient, and welcome to Film Therapy. I am Brienne, also known as Miss Movies, also known as your film therapist. I'm not a real therapist, but I play one on the internet just for this show. And as with every show, I have a guest patient, and that guest patient today is Matt Knost. Welcome to my home. Welcome to the office. Maybe I'll call it the office.
Uh, a couple things off the bat. I like the also known as like you're a rapper, aka Miss Movies, aka about to drop it like it's hot, aka you have like
I've
five
never
five
thought of that.
pseudonyms down the line. That's great.
I did not even think about
Yeah,
that.
that and
I
then
like it.
the Joker behind us as we sit down for film therapy. I'm sure that was a
Yes,
conscious choice.
it is a conscious
Is that
choice.
every week?
Every week, he's my muse. Um,
The most disturbed individual in all
that's
of
right.
comicdom.
Because I wanted something in the background, and I was like, at a therapist's office, what's it, a Rorschach picture or some shit like that?
So
But
this is indicative of some subconscious something of yours.
sure, this is kind of what do I have in my house that will work.
Okay.
And I confined Joker to the garage because I have small children and didn't want to scare
You
them.
don't want to, yeah, scar them.
So now I'm like, okay, you know what? He can come up for this show.
Would,
I'll
what
bring him
other
out.
what other options do you have?
I have a Indiana Jones poster.
Sure.
I
There's a guy with
have,
daddy issues.
I have a Frozen
Oh
poster.
God, that movie's no
I
good.
have, some words of encouragement, and that's about
That's
it.
beautiful. That's better than I've got. Got some paintings collecting dust
hmm
and some retro artwork from the 50s.
hmm
That's about it.
Great, great.
Uh-huh.
Well, for those that are just joining us for the first time, this is how film therapy works. This is a storytelling show where I'm going to ask Matt three questions. It's the same three questions every time. And that is, what is a film that inspires you? What is a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it's painful, maybe it's happy. And what is a film that helps you through difficult times? So I started this show because I do suffer from depression. And I always have a disclaimer at the top that I'm not a therapist. Matt's not a therapist. If you need help right now, please see your doctor, call
Mhm.
911, call someone that can get you the help that you need currently. So before we get started, let's learn a little bit more about Matt.
What would
I
you like to
know
know?
you because of the Top 10 show,
Yes.
which we used to watch or used to listen to um, just in audio iTunes format.
Yeah, we had it on iTunes, and then we'd post just the audio with a still picture
hmm
on YouTube. But yeah, that
Right.
was the two ways you get the show.
Okay. And then you went to live. Was it live streaming or was it? It was
No,
video.
it was live to tape, but
Okay.
it was video for Collider, and we were there for a few months, and then
hmm
it didn't work out for a myriad of reasons. There's no
Sure.
point in getting into it here.
No.
And then right now we're on hiatus. We actually have something we're working on. It was because of delays in schedule, holidays, and all that. It's been
hmm
pushed back a little bit, but hopefully in the next week or so, maybe 2 weeks, it'll actually we'll have something to announce. I can't. That's not official,
Right.
but that's the
That's a little
hope.
teaser.
Yeah.
That's the teaser trailer right there.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an
Yes.
announcement. Maybe
I'm
there
hoping.
isn't.
I am literally hoping because someone, John the other day said, "Hey, we're working on it," and one guy was just like, "Look, I want you to come back, but it's been months of you guys saying we're working on it." And you're like, "That's very true. That
That's
is very
true,
true."
but people don't know how long it takes to go from in development, like pre-production to production. People don't
Yeah.
know how long that can take. It can take years
Well,
or and then never actually happen. That's how movies work.
if it was just the two of us, it would already be done.
Right.
But there are other the balls in play or things in
Mhm.
motion that we have to, work with other individuals to
Right.
hopefully get this idea up and off the ground. So it's just a matter of getting everybody's schedules on board,
Mhm.
trying to come together with an idea that we all like, and then
Yes.
proceed from there. Okay, how do we execute this idea? What can we do? It's just
Mhm.
all the ins and outs of it. So
Yes.
hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, that's the tentatively
Mhm.
we're supposed to sit down again within the week.
Okay.
So
Well, my fingers are crossed.
yes, as are mine, because I'm sick of having to answer the same question. It's nice to the
Eh,
people who are still
People are
wanting it.
interested, yes.
Trust me, I appreciate it thoroughly. But at the same
Mhm.
time, when you have no answer for months on end, it sucks having to
it
give
gets
the
hard.
same non-answer. Be like, I
Mhm.
swear to God, we are working on this. I promise you, I'm doing my damnedest here.
But the next question that I have is, when are you back on the Schmodown?
I've got a match with.
You don't have to say exactly the date of your match, but you can say like it's towards the end of or the beginning of.
Oh, I don't know. I know who I'm facing, which is RB3.
Okay.
Um,
He's also been on the show. Hello, Robert.
he is. Yeah, has he?
He
He's a
has.
good guy. He's a good
Hmm.
guy. I like him. Which is gonna be weird because we have to do, the taped smack, like talking
Oh
smack,
yeah,
and be like,
right.
I have nothing but pleasant things to say about the man. He has always been over the top kind to me. So this is gonna be interesting to say the very least.
Hmm.
I was given the option of, do you want to face Miss Movies? And I said yes.
Did you
Yes.
stop?
I swear to God.
No one gave you that option.
I
Then
got an
how did you?
email. I got an email saying, here's a list of competitors. Who do you want? And I was like, boom, Miss Movies. Because I
Yeah,
figure,
right.
I swear to God, I'll show you the email.
Okay,
I'll
you
show
show it
you
to
the
me
email.
later.
And then next choice was RB3. I'm guessing scheduling or something didn't work out for us to face off. I have no idea.
No comment on that. I doubt it was scheduling, but no comment.
Okay. I tried out there.
Well,
I
thanks.
tried.
Thanks.
No problem. I figured, you know what? We need, the Schmodown could use an injection of some more women
Yes.
on the show. And I was like,
Thank
why
you.
not? Let's
Why
square off
not?
against Miss Movies. And considering you write the questions,
No one wants.
and I got a
apparently
bone to pick
everyone.
with you on some of those
I
questions.
did. I don't anymore.
Okay.
But
Well, maybe that's you should go back because the questions
I don't
I
want to
have
go
gotten
back.
at times are ridiculous.
I don't want to go back. They could have been mine that I wrote, but I'm not sure. But apparently everyone's intimidated by me because no one wants to face me. What's that
Look,
about?
I swear to God, I'll show you the email. I want her. Let's do this.
Okay. All right. We're gonna look
For-
at that later.
yeah.
Let's get into our first question. Let's get back to film therapy, although I am enjoying this banter. What is a film that inspires you, Matt?
It's a tough question.
It is because there's so many different ways this could go.
It is, and it's like, what road do you want to travel down?
This is why I did this specifically because then I can have people back to talk about different ways that different films inspire them.
Okay. Because that's
So you can pick one for today.
all
We'll
right.
come back again.
Perfect.
Round 2.
Yeah, when I was thinking about
Because
it,
you don't just go to a therapist and then not show up again. I mean,
well,
some people do.
where's the
but
couch?
That's, Patreon goals is what I'm thinking.
Really?
No.
Just putting it out to you out there. A chaise lounge right in the back right
that
here.
would be amazing.
That would be amazing. Let's make it happen, gang.
That's my next production value.
Yeah. So for the inspirational, I sat down and thought about it, and it was like, what do I want? Do I want to go with like sports movie, which there's a million inspirational movies like that, or an uplifting true story, or you could make numerous choices, but the one that I made was Braveheart.
Okay, great.
For the speech that he gives the other Scotsman the first time they show up to have a battle royale with the English, that speech. Have you seen the movie?
Yes, I've seen the movie.
Okay, because you just gave me a look. Well, that's the end. Although he does spout freedom in that, but there in the end,
first time that they're ready to go, and he's on the horse, and his face is blue.
Half blue, yes.
Half blue,
half
yes.
blue. Yeah, and he gives that speech. He shows up here, and one of the guys is like, "If this is he says, if this is your army, then why do they flee?" Just like, well, the English. Look at the English. Look how strong they are. We're just a ragtag bunch of guys. And one guy's like, no, we'll run and we'll live. And I just love the rebuttal or rejoinder to that of the run and, fighting, you may die. Run and you'll live, at least for a while. And would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that just for the chance to look these assholes in the face and be like, listen, you may think you can subjugate me right now, but I'm a free man. I make my own choices, and I don't believe in your rule because your rule is tyrannical, and I'm willing to die for my beliefs. And while William Wallace bleeds that out in the end, when he is being flayed alive, which I cannot imagine the pain of that, of having your intestines pulled from your body as you're alive.
It looked like it was like a machine that was gonna just kind of wind it all up into a nice little spiral.
Sure. They're gonna make a beautiful little dish out of that.
Let's fry this up and serve it to everyone.
A different version of haggis or something. That's, I don't know what machine that is. That sounds pretty terrible. Let's get Bobby Flay on that. I bet you can make something
You
just
know what?
delicious with that.
Yeah, a nice little roux to go with that.
Yeah. Why not? Bring in some Creole flavoring in that. But
Oh,
then in the end, when he is, I mean, he's being killed, and he said, listen, all you have to do is beg for mercy. That's all you have to do.
mhm,
But he stands by his convictions and screams out freedom. And, for the movie's purposes, Longshanks, that's the last thing he
mhm,
hears before he dies, is the defiance of this one Scot and all of Scotland, via him.
mhm.
But that was, it's inspirational to see someone that's willing to sacrifice everything for their convictions.
Right. Do we see that anymore,
Sure.
like in life?
Sure. Yes, we see that all the time. Look at all the wars that are still happening.
I
People are willing
know.
to die for their convictions, whether or not you agree with the rationale by which or for which they're doing it. There's
Mhm.
still people are still more than willing to die for their convictions, and it's something to, even if you don't agree with what they're doing, there's still honor in it. There's still something to respect. You may not like the outcome that they're trying to arrive at, but they're willing to
Right.
sacrifice everything to get there, and that in and of itself is something to be, honored.
So how does William Wallace like inspire you in your everyday life then?
I wish
And
that he
that's
did.
and that
I
speech.
wish that he did. I mean, think about it. We're in Los Angeles. I don't
I
know how much
know.
inspiration I'm actually garnering from William Wallace. I have, basically, given the lifestyle that the two
Uh,
of us and others have chosen, I don't know that we distinctly went down
mhm,
that path. I'd like to believe that it's given me the courage to follow, my dreams or certain
mhm,
paths and be steadfast in my beliefs. I don't know if that's the case. I mean, hopefully, a
mhm.
movie can imbue those types of emotions within you, but at the same time, it is, I guess, how much you're willing to do those things.
Right. I was just thinking like it's interesting like what people bring in terms of inspiration, and that is a great film. It's one that I saw, and then I loved it. I loved it so much. Like honestly, in my top like 5. And
Oh, really? Oh, like
yeah,
of all
but
time,
it's
or
one of those, and this is like really specific to how I view film. Like when I really like a film, I don't want to see it again because then I feel like it loses something every time that I watch it. So like Alien is my favorite film. But like
okay?
if you
That's
ask
my
me
favorite of that
question,
series.
if you ask me questions about Alien, I probably don't know a lot about it because I haven't watched it that much because I want to like savor the first time that I watched it. And so I've seen it like maybe 4 times total.
And it's your favorite.
And it's my favorite. Yes. Now, Back to the Future is my second favorite movie. And I've watched that like millions of times over and
Yeah, but it's
over.
impossible to escape that.
That's true. It's always on.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Always
we
on.
could quote it back and forth. I'm sure we could do a scene by scene breakdown.
Let's do it right now.
Yeah, we have. I haven't seen it
Dun,
in a
dun,
while.
dun, dun,
What scene is
dun,
that
dun.
in? Just a
I'm just
slight.
saying.
Are you doing?
It's him. He's getting out. He's getting onto these
Is
skateboards.
AKA doing the soundtrack? Is that the start of it right there? And you got an idea for the music video, and it just starts with a little
I do.
shoulder shimmy.
Shoulder shake.
That's where we're going, guys. Think about it. You're a new Bob Fosse, and you're like, all right, this is where
Oh,
we
I love
start.
Bob
This is where we
Fosse.
start. Unlike Alec Guinness, who said that he starts every character with his shoes to figure out how he it starts builds from the ground up.
It
You build from
does.
the shoulders down. Let's start there.
So I was thinking of a movie that recently that inspired me, like has like literally made me do things that I have not wanted to do. And that is Kung Fu Panda 3. I am not joking. Came
Okay,
out last January.
it's good.
It all I had there was one quote in there that I was like, "Oh shit. This is something I'm going to remember." And it's like, if you only do what you can do, you'll never be better than what you are.
True.
And so I've taken that quote and used it so many times, like any opportunities that I've had that like have come up. I wouldn't be in the Schmodown if it weren't for Kung Fu Panda 3 because when the offer came in, I was like, I ain't doing that shit. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, but if you don't push yourself, then there's no room for growth.
Right. That's why I was like,
You
all
have
right,
to.
Kung Fu Panda 3, I'm going to
Yeah,
say yes and I'm going to do it and I'm going to get better.
you
And
have
I
to.
continue to get
If
better.
something makes you feel, uncomfortable like that, if you
Mhm.
get through it on the other side, you'll see that it's fine. Everything's fine.
Right.
Like I remember the first one we were doing, and I saw guys that were nervous about the Schmodown. I was like, "Look, you win or you lose. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter. You're gonna wake up tomorrow. Everything's gonna be fine.
Right.
So answer the questions try not to
Mhm.
miss a bunch and move on with your
Try
life.
not to miss a bunch. That's the hard part
Well,
because I like different movies than say the movies that might be asked about, right? So like if you ask me about
that's
like
the thing though. We
Renee
could ask you about your
Zellweger's
favorite movies and you don't
catalog,
remember them.
that's true. Like Alien, that could be I need to continue to watch that more. But I just noticed like I do have a lot of like big blockbusters that are like geared towards male audiences that I haven't seen that I'm like I should probably like go back. And so now I'm starting like I've
Like
made a
what?
list. Oh man, I have a list and it's really embarrassing
What's your
about like
list?
what movies. It's on my phone. About like
You
what
don't remember
movies
any of
I
them?
need.
You got a
Oh yes, I
huge
do.
list?
I do. Right
You
now.
just
Oh
don't
wait.
want to admit to the people watching I haven't seen
Cuz
X, Y,
what
and Z.
no. I will totally admit that. You just hold on a second. I'm going to go
Oh,
get it.
go get the
You can
phone.
go. I
I
will.
will I will
You entertain.
interact with
Just
the
say
chat.
hello to the people that are
Hi
there.
Pierre Kelly. He's saying hi to everyone. I don't know what Randall Sands is talking about. It's a movie, but it is a movie. Um, Stu Ert is rooting for 6 Degrees versus Steel Wolf, I believe. Wolves of Steel. Sorry, they just moved by really quickly. Someone there, Michael Atkinson, has
Right.
said he's seen Kung Fu Panda way too many times.
Oh yeah. I need to see the second one. Missed that one. Saw the first and the
It's good.
third.
I like actually.
You'd probably like that one the best.
I don't know if I like it the best. I know it's the one that I've seen the most, but I absolutely love the way they start the film. Um, just the way
Hmm.
they set the backstory of the
Right.
characters to lead up to. I think it's just a very interesting way that they did it.
Okay, so here's my list
What do you got?
of movies I have not seen that are I have now in my either in my Netflix queue. The ones I looked up weren't available on Amazon Prime to watch, so I didn't do that. Or I got Netflix DVDs now, so they're either in my Netflix queue to watch instantly, or they're in the DVDs, so they'll be sent to me.
Okay.
So here we go. And also want to say, a lot of these movies I know a lot about before I've even seen them. Some of them I don't.
That kind of sucks the fun out of it.
History of the World Part 1,
Okay.
Blazing Saddles,
Eh.
The Elephant Man, Ghost, which
You
I
haven't seen?
know a lot about Ghost without having seen it.
I'm just amazed you haven't seen it. It was I'm
Mhm.
guessing we're roughly the same age, and I
Probably.
couldn't escape that film when it came out. I didn't want to see
Yeah.
it. It's fine. It's a good movie, but it's one of those of like,
Mhm.
yeah, I saw it.
Mhm. Jurassic Park: The Lost World,
Yeah.
RoboCop,
Ooh.
300, The Blues Brothers,
Yeah, skip it.
Dragnet, Short Circuit, Twins.
Were you alive in the 80s?
I was, but I
So
saw like kid movies and
did I, but I
female
still
movies.
saw all those. I saw those in the theater.
Iron Man 2,
Yeah.
Thor,
Okay.
The Fly,
That's a good one.
Raging Bull,
That's a good one.
The Champ,
Yeah.
Dog Day Afternoon,
Yeah.
Serpico,
Dear God.
Hard Boiled.
All right.
Train to Busan I have right now, and that came out this past year.
I was
So
gonna say I don't know that one.
I'm very. It's supposed to be It's like Snowpiercer with zombies. I'm very excited about that. Okay.
Okay.
The
That's an
Thing.
interesting
Oh,
concept.
I've seen the remake of The Thing, but I
Which
have
is
not seen the
surprisingly good.
original Thing.
The original still holds up.
Okay.
It's good. It's really good. It's
Yeah.
a lot of tension and whatnot. But the remake, I was surprised by how good it was.
The Abyss, Phantasm,
Okay.
Platoon,
Wow.
Teen Wolf.
You haven't seen Teen Wolf? I don't believe that you were alive in the 80s. I think you were incubated and just brought to fruition in like 94. Keep going.
Okay. The Searchers,
All right.
Blue Velvet.
Ooh, do you really want to sit through Blue
I
Velvet?
don't know. The sorry, Network, The Candidate,
Oh, Network is awesome.
The Apartment.
Okay.
I have right now in my possession Umbrellas of Cherbourg, which is like
I don't know that one.
which is basically what La La Land is. It's like La La Land is a remake of it, basically.
Oh, really?
Taxi Driver,
Okay.
Easy Rider,
Okay.
5 Easy Pieces,
Don't know that one.
Marathon Man,
Yeah.
Double Indemnity,
Yeah.
The Master. This keeps going.
Oh man, the
Punch
Master.
Drunk Love,
Punch Drunk Love is great.
The Seven Samurai,
Seven Samurai.
He Got Game, The Fisher King.
How does he got game just sneak on out of nowhere?
It's
Someone just say it and you're like, I'm
yeah.
going to write that down. He got game.
No, well, someone put Do the Right Thing, and I was like, I've seen Do the Right Thing, but I haven't seen He Got Game. I should probably see that.
It's
Another
good.
Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Searching for Bobby Fischer, The Palm
It's
Beach
good.
Story, Treasure of Sierra Madre,
Mhm.
Tango and Cash, Mean
Oh,
Streets, Enter the Dragon,
wow, this thing keeps going,
The
guys.
Crow,
This is a long list.
Apocalypto, Sneakers, War Games, The Freshman, Cool Hand Luke, Escape from New York and Escape from LA, Sin City, American History X, Once Upon a
I
Time in
just
the
watched
West,
that the other day.
In America, Hellboy 2, The Nice Guys,
Just watched
and
that the other day.
Secretary. And
What?
then I have ones that I want to rewatch that I've watched before.
You have, I mean, look, you have some excellent movies. I don't know what your movie tastes on there, but there's definitely some things in there that will
Yeah.
peak it
Oh.
and you'll enjoy.
Look, Braveheart's on my list of movies I've seen that I want to see again. What do you know?
Well, there it is.
And Willow. I've been trying to get Willow.
I just watched that like a month ago.
You can watch it on YouTube, apparently. So I'm going to do that.
You search hard enough, you can find pretty much anything online.
That's true.
Yeah.
So those are our movies that I'm going to be catching up on. I'm very sad that I shared that with everyone.
It's like that's a long list of homework you have.
It is, but I'm getting 2 DVDs at a time. So I'm excited that I will be doing that. Like now I'm writing down each day what I can only watch one movie a day
Okay.
because I have kids and like my full-time job is being their mom and getting them from school and taking them to their activities and stuff like that. So the only time I have to watch a movie is starting around 9:30 to pretty much whenever the movie's over and then going to bed.
Oh, I was
like
gonna say 9:30 A or P if you're dropping them off and
PM.
then you've got the day.
PM.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I can.
So I'm writing down each like what movie I'm going to watch every day. Unfortunately, today is 50 Shades of Grey, and I'm not happy about that.
Yeah, I don't have any desire to ever see.
But now that they have the new thing about like they have a new release question in the Schmodown in the beginning section.
Yeah,
so
I'll take an L
great.
on that one.
Okay.
That's fine. I don't want to have to sit through 50 Shades of Grey just to get a question right. My life and my time is more important than getting that question right. I realize there are other
Okay.
people that wouldn't, adhere to that standard,
Yep.
but that's fine. I live my life. I need to have some sort of sanity. I can't chase
The
this
other
dragon.
day, so yesterday I rewatched Basic Instinct and I watched 9.5 Weeks the day before that.
Oh, in a hypersexual mood yesterday.
9.5 Weeks, man. That movie is terrible. It's so
I haven't
bad.
seen it in so long.
It's so bad. It's not good. It
But
made
Basic
me angry.
Instinct
I
is?
was so much better than way
okay.
better than 9.5 Weeks.
Sure.
Way better.
I'm not going to fight you on that, but
Okay.
at the same time, Basic Instinct isn't like some,
It's
art
not
house.
Master of Cinema or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
It's just sex and violence.
I mean, what more could you want? Anyways, let's get into our second question.
Oh, story, characters that I give a shit about.
That's true.
Yeah, I like those things. There's nothing wrong with those things. But if they don't serve a greater good, I can't just
Uh-huh.
watch something. My days of
Mhm.
of trying to catch Skinamax and whatnot are kind of, past me.
Mm. All right. Well, good for you.
Just saying. I'm
So
not a
let's
teenage boy anymore, so
let's get into. Well, that's the difference, right? Teenage boys have their like prime in their teenage years, whereas like women have their prime in my age. So that's why I got to catch up on these things. Also, we're coming up on episode 69 of 6 Degrees of Feature Film this week, and that's why ours is like all hypersexual movies.
Oh, okay.
So I'm watching for
Sure.
that.
It makes sense. It's as good a reason as any other to watch those.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into our second question, which is what is a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it's painful, maybe it's happy.
Okay, well, that's not the question. The question I got was that, but
Okay.
then parenthetically, if it's a happy memory, that's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Is
I
it-
want you to go painful.
Exactly.
But-
It really seemed like you would just be sitting here going, "Oh, we're talking about a happy memory." I was like,
no, it's fine. It is fine. It's just fine.
yeah, but for film therapy, I'm guessing that you would prefer that we actually, I don't know, delve into
Yeah.
more of, something painful or
I just want it up to the patient because I don't want to push someone that's
your
like, you know
agenda on the
what?
client or on the, yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's it. Well, then that question was leading. I will say that.
All right. That's my job to lead, but not like push.
Oh, okay. Take the horse to water, but you can't force him to drink.
Yeah.
Take him to the
Right.
cliff. Don't nudge him over the edge. That's fine.
Mhm.
So upon reading that, like almost every film conjures a happy memory for me.
Okay.
So anytime just like, oh, I remember where I was when I saw it. And it's a lot of movies from the 80s, like on your list. There was 7 or 8 that my mom and my brother and sister and I went to see in the theater. And I
Mhm.
remember distinctly going to the theater and seeing that and being excited. I absolutely loved. We in the summer we'd go to 1 to 2 movies a week.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
just
pretty cool.
oh, it was awesome. We just go, it's hot outside, let's go see a movie. Great. I can't wait to have popcorn and soda. This is awesome. And then just sit
Mhm.
and watch. And most of any memories kind of like tied into something like that, where it warms my heart. It puts a smile on my face. So
Mhm.
considering the parenthetical was it's fine if it's a happy memory. I tried to think of something that didn't conjure that. The only thing I could
Mhm.
come up with is, did you ever see Warrior?
Yes.
Okay.
Recently.
Really?
Yeah. Because we had a MMA person on our show, like a MMA expert on our show.
Okay.
And so he wanted to talk about Warrior and I was like, "Perfect. I will watch it." So that's
Did
how
you
it
like it?
works. I did. I really liked it.
I was almost moved to tears a couple times in it,
Mhm.
but one in which, so I'm a drunk. I'm an alcoholic. I don't drink anymore.
Okay.
Next week will be 10 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I don't. I feel weird taking congratulations for me correcting self-destructive behavior.
Well, why do you feel weird about that?
Uh,
You shouldn't.
because I knew it was a bad thing when I started. It's not like
Okay.
anybody walks blindly into alcohol and drug addiction these days. We've all seen
Yeah.
a million
But it's
behind the
hard.
musics or whatever.
It's hard to stay away from those vices. They're around you all the time and so you have to consciously like
I just
I
think
don't
you need to be an adult, and I
yeah.
just wasn't when
Mhm.
I was. I liked alcohol. It was a lot of fun. I don't remember most
Mhm.
of my 20s, but the problem is it went from being fun to
Right.
basically a job. And
Mm.
I drank. I had rules. I wouldn't drink during the day. I mean, every once in a while we have a barbecue or something, but I never. I was like, I'm adamant I won't do that. But come 7 o'clock, let's tie one on, fellas. It's
Mhm.
time to get wasted. And I would just do that until I passed out, and then wake up the next morning, hungover, going, I can't believe I did that again, and then just
Right.
repeat the cycle for years on end. So to see when Nick Nolte shows up to Joel Egerton's house,
Yes.
and he's trying to rekindle the relationship that he knows that he has damaged. When I was watching that in the theater,
Mhm.
that's when I was waking up hungover in the pit of my alcoholism. That's what it would eventually got me to stop is, do I want to end up where I'm alone and I have destroyed every relationship around me and I'm just this sad, pathetic man? Even if I make it to that age, more than likely I will kill myself from this vice long before then because I will have
Right.
destroyed my body. Because, I used to be a pack a day smoker. I quit, 15, 18 years
Mhm.
ago, and just whatever. I've had destructive tendencies in my life. So to see him show up, and I kind of visualized myself in that, and like that could have been me. That
Mm.
could have been the trajectory of where I was, and that it sparked the memory of me waking up every day going, what do you want for your life? Is this it? Is this, you want to be a fat, bloated, like depressed, just disgusting individual? And eventually got to the point where it's like, no, I do not want that. And, I quit. But to see that within that movie, like I've seen depictions of other people that are alcoholics or
Right.
alcoholism in other movies, but that one resonated more for me because it just seemed truer, where this guy had destroyed this relationship. Because my old drinking partner still drinks to this day. We were roommates, best
Mhm.
friends, all that stuff, and he hasn't quit. He called me drunk a couple months ago at 10 in the morning, just like, oh man, I can't believe you're still that self-destructive. And it sucks because I know where he's going to end up, and it's not a pretty
Right.
place. And then I just visualize myself. I could have been there right next to him, and it could have just been the two of us doing this until the day we died. And upon seeing Nick Nolte in that, it all came rushing back. It had been years since I'd had those thoughts, and sitting in the theater, I remember that and just like, oh my god, to see that crystallized before me, it was like that was a
Mhm.
lot of the fears of my life represented now right in front of me, just manifested. And I'm not going to have kids. My wife and I don't want kids, so I won't have that destructive, where I've destroyed their life and they're now carrying this baggage with them for their journey.
Right.
Thankfully, but there are still other friendships and whatnot that have been hurt to this day. Even if I see those people, there's an awkwardness between us because of some idiotic thing I did when I was drunk, or maybe just
Mhm.
repetitive destructive behavior over the years. And so within that, to see the pain and the sorrow and him, trying to tell the world that I've changed and become a new man, be like, you know what, I knew you as
Mhm.
one way for everything up until, he said it's 1,000 days sober when he has that confrontation.
Right.
So my entire life, you've been this drunken asshole. And now you may have turned a corner, but I don't care.
Mhm.
You can go and die for all I care because you exist as basically like a footnote in my life. That so and so is my father, and that is it. I don't want any part of you. Uh, so that sparked a hell of a movie or memory within the theater when I was watching it. I couldn't believe it from a sports movie.
Right. Gosh, it's what you're saying about, going through that. And I was thinking about, we have that in our family. A member
Yeah,
of our family deals with alcoholism, more narcotics than alcohol, but
sure.
one led to the other.
Hmm.
And then you go through the cycles, being the family members that like watch it happen, want to help, but can't can't
You
like
can't.
you have to let it
You have to
you
let them
have to
bottom.
let them decide that they want the
Hmm.
help. There's And that's hard for people to do. It's hard to like just sit back and let things happen
You have to.
because there's no way, like, again, you can't force the horse to drink the water as much as you want
Yeah,
it to. Um so there's that, and then there's also them going through recovery, and maybe that works for a time and then it doesn't,
yeah,
and the ups and downs that it goes through as well.
yeah. Going back and forth recovery
Hmm.
for a lot of people, they have to go
A few
several
times,
times.
yes.
And I've had friends that have tried quitting things over the years, and they always say, "Hey, listen, if I go to do this, stop me." And be like,
Hmm.
and I've always told them no, because if you can't stop yourself, I am not going to be able to.
Right.
So I am not going to be thrust into this emotional position where now I feel like I failed you because you have this destructive tendency.
Hmm.
If you can't quit on your own, then I can't help you quit.
Right.
I mean, there are times when, yes, you do help, but if
Hmm.
it's the difference of me getting in your way from you drinking and not drinking, or, doing coke or whatever the case is, I can't be there always. So I'm not going to stop you now because I'm not going to be there tomorrow. We have different schedules. We don't live together. We're not married. I can't
Hmm.
I can't be there every time you decide to do this. So it's also that it's very true. You have to make the choice. That person needs to either bottom out or they just continue on their trajectory. I mean, you can try and force them to do those things, but if they're not ready for it, it's not going to work more than likely.
Right.
Yeah, unless you absolutely just take everything away from them, put them in prison or something like that.
Yeah, that's the only other way that people, mandated soberness
Hmm.
is like the only other way that you're going to get someone to actually do it. And then when they're done with it, then
Yeah, once they're
maybe they'll go
released,
back. Who knows?
more than likely they will. The recidivism rate's got to be, high
Hmm.
for anybody that's forced to give up something
Yeah.
that their body has now become conditioned to existing with.
I do want to say, Amstel 54 did say that they are 3 years sober. So that's very
You could
good.
say
Good
congrats.
job.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
What?
it's just
So what
me.
should I say?
It's just me.
Instead of saying congratulations to someone that
No, no, no.
has
Look,
years, what should I say?
everyone else says it too.
Okay, but
Individuals that have
what's
quit,
better?
they've made. I have no idea. I'm just saying for me.
Best wishes on that. You did great. You did good.
I just say
I'm glad.
for sure. It just for me, it's always felt weird when someone was like, "Oh, congratulations on that." It's just like, why are you giving me praise for something we all know you shouldn't be doing, and yet I let
Because
myself do?
addiction is hard. It's because it's not, I don't know. Addiction is, I feel like, something that's like a chemical reaction in your body that like draws you to it. Like
Eventually,
you're
yeah.
fighting that. That's not easy
No,
to have those internal struggles.
I mean your body, like my brain chemistry was off for a
Mm-hmm.
long time, and initially the first 6 months to a year when I get overly stressed, I'd have physiological responses to where my body would start to crave alcohol. Now, over the years, I've had a few of those. I had one like 2 months back where I just had a crazy week of nonstop stress, and it was like one of those of nothing is going right, and my body one night was just like, I want a drink. Give me a
Mhm.
drink. I don't want to deal with the stress. I just want to escape. Of course, yeah, I didn't. I was just like, uh, you know, it's a passing, fleeting feeling,
Mhm.
but it's still like those drugs do have an effect on you long term. You're still, I'll be an alcoholic till the day I die. Unfortunately, I
Mhm.
don't think there was. Did you ever watch West Wing?
No.
Oh, it's an excellent show, but it's a it's a 3-act show, so
Yeah.
everything ends. It's one
Mhm.
of those of there's very rarely is it episodic where there's a carrying storyline.
Okay. I love that. Like a anthology-esque series,
Okay.
but with one base character instead. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is all based around
Mhm.
the White House, but the
You could watch a single episode randomly and you
you
would have a
know
full episode and you don't
yes
have to know backstory.
you might like you might be lost at certain times of like, hold on, what is that character's job? It's like, oh,
Mhm.
director of communications or whatnot, but you understand that they're important
Right.
and they have the ear of the president. There's only 5 or 6 truly central main characters, but one of which is his chief of staff, and he's got a great line in it which didn't really resonate for me until years later, where I don't understand the person that could have one drink. Which
Right.
when I was drinking, it didn't really make sense to me. But now that I quit, it's just like, yeah, I totally get that. You know what's better than one glass of scotch? 7. And that was my problem. It's just like, hey, we got a bottle. Let's finish that bottle, guys.
Mhm.
And if we finish the bottle and I'm still awake, we should probably continue drinking. And that's what I did. I
Mhm.
just drank until I passed out. And then, I had a hell of a habit. I was up to about a fifth a night for the last
Wow.
few years of my drinking. Yeah. And it's not like I could afford good stuff. So that is bottom shelf,
Oh.
gut rot.
Now, when did your wife come into the picture?
Um,
When did
I
you
mean, I
start
was
dating
sober.
her? You were sober when you started dating
Yeah,
her.
yeah, yeah. I had
Okay.
been sober for 6 or 7 years.
Okay. Oh,
We,
good.
well, 6 years. We've been married for 3. We dated for a year.
Okay.
But I knew her. We were friends before.
Okay.
So she knew me as the fat, overweight,
Drunk guy.
drunk guy. Yeah.
Okay.
And at first it was fun. Like, this guy's fun. He likes to have fun and party and
Yeah, it's
whatnot.
fun, Bobby.
Yeah. And then eventually it's like, well, it's not so much fun.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, why do we have to
There are
do
some
this?
people from college that I'll see and I'll be like, "Oh, you're still doing that."
Yeah.
Like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's
You,
your life."
you never grew
Like,
up.
I didn't know that, and I get surprised by that when I'm like, "Oh, wait,
The
you have
worst is
kids and
when
stuff."
they're holding on to it and they're like, this is still great, right? And you're like, I don't know about that.
Right?
Yeah. I don't even know how my body would process a hangover at this point. Like, I don't do well
Mhm.
waking up certain mornings. Like, my back is just like, not today.
I don't drink much, but I do know like at what point I need to stop before I'm actually drunk because I am unbearable like as a drunk. Like I'm really happy, but then I'm also just annoying. So I'm like, I don't want anyone to know that side of me.
Sounds like every
So
drunk.
that's why I'm just like, nope, I'll stop it here and then we won't have to go to that. And then I won't have to be hungover and I won't have to apologize for everything.
Yeah, good for you. See that point at which
Mhm.
you hit, and the point, like, you got to the point of no return, you turned back.
Mhm.
That was when I was like, oh, things are getting fun.
Let's keep
Exactly.
going.
It's like, this thing's going to careen off a cliff. Let's see how far we can fly this thing off the cliff. Can we set
Oh
a new
man.
record? That was my life for a long
Mhm.
time.
Well, I'm glad it's not your life now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't be sitting here with you if it was. I'd still
Right.
be in San Diego at the bottom of a bottle somewhere,
Mm.
just not having progressed my life at all.
Well, that's a sad thought.
Yeah.
Let's go to a happier thought. Let's go to a movie that helps you through difficult times.
Um, Now, do you have a singular one? Do you have a
No,
movie
oh
that
no,
you have a go to? Because
I
that's what I took from
don't.
this question. Do I have a singular, like, boom, that's the movie I put on?
I mean, it could be singular, but
So you don't
I
have an
mean,
answer for this
I
question?
have an answer for this
What is
question.
the answer? What is your answer?
Well, I'm
I'm
going to
turning the
be
tables on
answering
you.
these questions for the
Oh,
show in a few weeks.
oh, so someone is coming in to interview you for
Yes,
this. So
correct.
I'm stealing the thunder of that
You
future
are. How
show.
dare you?
Yeah. Don't worry, AKA. You'll come up with something.
Okay.
Uh the first one that came to mind is just my favorite movie, which is Fletch.
Okay.
I can put it on when I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I'm bored, if I need something on in the
Mhm.
background, I can just put that movie on. And
Because Chevy Chase is your guy.
it's I wouldn't go that far, but
Okay.
him in that role in that movie,
Uh-huh.
100%.
I should put this on my list.
It's look, if you like dry humor, put it on your list. If you
Mhm.
don't because that's all it is. It's just
I love dry humor.
okay,
That's my humor.
that's all
That's
it's
all I do.
if it's endlessly quotable to me and
It's on there.
a small group of my friends. My brother turned me on to it when I was younger, and then since
Mhm.
then I've worn out 2 or 3 VHS copies, and I've owned it on DVD, and now I just have a digital copy of it, so I don't ever have to go through that rigmarole again.
Yes. Now, since I have not seen it, can you give me a synopsis?
He is playing a reporter, and he goes by the byline of Jane Doe.
Okay.
His name is Fletch,
Right.
the titular character. And he is investigating one story, and that
Mhm.
story ends up kind of rolling into another, uh, telling a greater story overall.
Mhm.
So it's him as a reporter, kind of chasing down a lead, and that lead leads.
To something even bigger, the
Yes,
biggest drug ring ever. And then he brings it all down himself.
you're not far off.
Okay.
You're not far. That's the first 5 minutes. You see what story he's chasing, and then you
Uh-huh.
kind of, you've seen enough movies. You're like, oh, well, this only has, more than likely a certain arc to it.
Mhm.
But it's just the stupidity by which the character, he's not stupid, but the stupid ways in which he gets himself in and out of situations or how he gets information or whatnot.
Mhm.
It's just always spoken to me in a way that is kind of hard to describe with words. And I don't know why, but I can quote that movie backwards and forwards. I this as soon as the soundtrack comes on, I'm already in a good mood.
Okay,
Even
good.
if it's just on in the background, just like, yeah, it's the, the soundtrack. The best part is pure 80s. You'll hear it and be like, oh,
Yes.
never
Is
in a
it a
million
shoulder
years.
shake time?
It is. When it starts off, it is definitely a shoulder. I can I almost want to break into song, but you've never heard the song before because
Okay.
I've never heard it outside of this movie. I've never heard it on the radio,
Oh,
anywhere else. It's kind of like you ever seen Real Genius?
no.
Another classic
Yeah.
80s. You're what?
See,
How are
I'm
we the same age? I swear to
because
God.
I miss movies.
Oh,
That's my
it's a
thing.
pun?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I thought it was
Uh-huh.
I know so much about movies
No, it's the
that it's
opposite.
wow, learning something new. I figured the Miss movies, you wrote questions for the Schmodown. That's why I was like, I will take her on because that is a worthy opponent.
Mhm.
And apparently that is not the case.
No, because listen, while you're watching all these, then I'm watching all the girl movies.
I've probably seen a bunch of those. Like what? What do you think that I haven't seen?
Oh gosh, Summer Story. I loved that one with
That is
Haley
the most
Mills.
generic name I've ever heard. Summer Story? Summer Story.
Or Summer Place or
That
some shit like that.
that's the best they came. They just
Like Pollyanna, you know?
I've seen it, but I don't remember it. It was so long ago.
I mean, pretty much anything with Haley Mills.
Shag,
Shag is great.
seen that about 1,000 times.
I mean, I know every single question you could possibly ask about Dirty Dancing.
So do
Like,
I. I've seen that way
oh,
too many times.
we should. I'll challenge you on this popcorn trivia thing. I know every answer. There's this popcorn trivia app, and like it goes in 3 acts. So you answer 30 questions about a movie. I got all 30 right for Dirty
Okay,
Dancing.
well I can't compete with that.
Okay.
That's okay. I mean, I've seen the movie a lot, but to get all 30 questions right,
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Hmm.
I can't even 30 questions. What 30 questions could there possibly be?
There's
Was it like
plenty of
7 Jerry Orbach
questions.
questions?
It's like, what profession it is Johnny Castle going to go into now that he's going to be fired from this job?
Didn't even know his last name was Castle.
He is going.
Johnny Castle. What a great
What
name.
is the name of the place that they're at?
Oh, I mean, I haven't seen it in like 10 years, 12
It's
years.
Kellerman's Mountain House.
Kellerman's?
Kellerman's, yes.
Okay.
That's the name of it.
That's the name
Ask
of-
me anything about Dirty Dancing, people. I will. Be
Yeah,
able to
fly
answer
it.
it.
Let's see if we can stumble it. Put it in the live chat. Did anybody else know his last name? It was Johnny Castle.
Mm-hmm.
Of all, that is great.
What is baby's real name?
He should be oh,
And what is she named after?
I have no idea.
It's Frances, and she's named after the first woman that was ever in the cabinet.
In the cabin or cabinet?
Cabinet.
What,
The
like a presidential
like
cabinet?
presidential cabinet.
Dear God, you do know quite a bit about this movie. That is impressive. Is that just
There's
a
gonna be
throwaway
no
line?
questions. There's gonna be no questions about that though, because that's not a movie that like comes up. There's gonna be a James Bond question that I'm not gonna be able to answer
Oh
because
no, what
I
kills
don't
me
do
about that
James Bond.
is I've managed to get horror a
Oh,
bunch of
horror is
times.
great.
I don't watch horror.
Oh,
I don't care.
I do.
I don't get scared, so just
Hmm.
like this is so boring to me every
Mm,
time.
got it.
The last horror movie I liked was Cabin in the Woods, and it
That
was
was great.
because yeah,
Cabin in the Woods was fun.
it's a comedy
Hmm. Yes,
with some interesting horror thrown in, but it's not a horror. Like it's, I guess the Babadook.
that one's great.
Do you consider that horror?
It
It's more
is.
psychological.
Yeah, it's psychological. It could be both. It can be both.
Okay, I'm not saying it can't, but to me that was just
Uh-huh.
like by the end when you retrospectively look
Yeah,
back at it,
right.
it's like
I
that's
mean, I
more of
know
a
what the
yeah,
message is. Yes.
yeah, exactly. You see
There
the full
that's
scope.
different because yes, it's a horror film that's psychological but also with a message. Most horror films don't have a message to
No,
them.
it's mostly just bad story, bad acting.
Hmm.
Like
It Follows was great.
I didn't see it.
That's one I'd
I
recommend.
have to get like 10 random people recommending a horror movie before I watch it
Okay. So
because
I'll be number 1.
it
It
follows.
Follows. Let's see if the waiting room will also recommend It Follows. Anyways, back to what we were talking about, Fletch.
Sure,
And you were going to sing a song and then we got sidetracked.
we did. You will hear the song.
Okay.
It opens up the movie if you ever get around to watching it.
Hmm.
It is fantastic.
Okay.
But it's very much like I brought up with Real Genius. Real Genius has 2 or 3 songs that I think are fantastic, and I'd never heard them on the radio
Hmm.
or anything else. But
I
now it
wonder
just
why that is. I wonder what happens that makes it so that certain songs don't and certain songs do from films.
well, I think in that era everybody was trying to get their Kenny Loggins hit to
Mm.
where it would
Hmm.
jump over because now you just have an artist make a song or take one of their songs.
Right.
So you have, people already identifying with the film.
Hmm.
Whereas
Yeah.
at that point they were trying to create a hit, and I think it's
Yeah.
a more difficult endeavor.
They say that most like artists actually want to be on soundtracks because you get like a ton of money just because of that. Because you're all compiled together and everyone gets a payout because of they're on this soundtrack. So if the soundtrack does really well, then all the artists are like cashing in and all they had to do was like give them one song.
But do or does anyone buy a soundtrack anymore outside of like
I
you might have had
do.
to buy Frozen for your kids?
I definitely let's see what I bought recently. I bought La La Land
Okay,
soundtrack. Um
which I can't believe that movie's going to win Best Picture.
I bought a song from the show Company, which is
Okay,
not
it's a Broadway.
it's a Broadway musical.
So does that mean you have Hamilton too?
I bought something from Greece. The Nightmare Before Christmas. That was
Okay,
somewhat kids, somewhat my own. Sing Street, I bought that
okay.
soundtrack.
Then do you have Once?
I don't have Once. And that's pretty much. Oh, Back to the Future. I bought that recently because I
Okay,
didn't have it, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't have that." But yeah, those are ones that are a goofy movie. That was totally for myself.
a Goofy movie,
Yes.
the soundtrack.
Yes.
So that's what you were doing. Actually, that'd be the '90s. Why do I feel so much older than you now? If
I
that's
didn't see a Goofy movie till 2 years ago because my
oh,
kids wanted to watch it.
okay,
So,
and you got just sucked in.
and I was like, "This is a good movie."
I like Disney
You know?
movies. I see just about everything that they put out. I haven't seen Moana yet, which
Moana's
is
good.
yeah, which is rare for me. If a Disney film does that well and enough people like it, I will gladly go
Mhm.
see it in the theater. Just because they're good at what they do,
Right.
and I like animation a lot, so I'll see just about any worthwhile animation in a theater.
Lego Batman, I'm very excited about. I
I
have not seen it yet.
I turned the first one off. Lego Movie.
Well, the Lego movie,
My wife and I both like animation. We both went,
the Lego movie is a little bit hyper.
okay.
I'll say that. Um, I've watched it more and more because my son really likes it, but he only likes the Lego Batman parts. So
Oh,
he'll make me
perfect.
fast forward the beginning till we get to Lego Batman, and then he'll watch from wherever Lego Batman comes in.
And does he maintain throughout the story? Because I
No, he'll like go back and forth and be like, "Oh, Batman's back."
So he's not stealing the movie. That's why they gave him his own.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm excited for Lego Batman. But yeah, the Lego movie I wasn't as taken with because of the fact that it's super hyper. And I was like, this is not for kids. This is way too much coming at you all at once. You know, young kids, like older kids, sure.
Okay.
But my kids were young. So I was like, I'm not taking my kids to see this because they will be like, whoa.
Everything's not awesome, Mom. My retinas are burned.
Oh.
Yeah, I wanted to like it, and enough people told me it was excellent, and then I saw it, and it just didn't do anything for me, which is
Mhm.
really strange for me, just because I do see a ton of animation, and the fact
Mhm.
that when one is so beloved, and people are so excited for another one, and now it's got its own spin-off movie, and
Yeah.
just like, oh, it's got to be good, just not for me.
What about Nicholas Sparks films? That's something I'd watch.
Sure, I've seen Notebook.
Well, everyone's seen Notebook, but have you seen A Walk to Remember?
I haven't, but I didn't hear good
That's
things about it
from other guys, probably.
from people. How dare you gender bias like
All right,
that?
fine.
What
From
was
people.
the wasn't there?
Mandy Moore is in that
Oh yeah.
one.
I've seen that one. I was thinking of the Knights in Rodanthe or whatever.
Mm.
I did not
Mm-hmm.
see that with in that gear and is that
Yeah,
Diane
Diane
Lane?
Lane. I like Diane Lane.
Didn't she do another one under the Tuscan Sun or something?
Yes, but I don't think that's not Nicholas Sparks.
Oh, okay. I thought that was another one.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't need a middle-aged woman finding herself movie because it just doesn't speak to me. I don't understand her trials and tribulations as to
Mhm.
why she's gotten to this crossroads in her life and making these decisions.
You're like,
I'm not to
Eat,
that
Pray,
age.
Love. I'm not gonna see that.
No.
Sweet November. Yep, I
Well,
see. I saw that, Stuart. I saw Sweet November.
I just like
It
that
was bad too.
Eat, Pray, Love is about, rescinding materialism and you're going out to like
Mhm.
experience life and all that. And they made a book out, there's the book and then there's
Mhm.
the movie and there were product lines that were tied into it.
Sure.
So all this capitalist gains was made off of a book and an idea of like, basically get rid of all that stuff. You don't need it.
Yeah, but then I mean that greater argument is goes to like Star Wars.
Well, yeah, but
Look at
that's
all the
just a money
books in the
making.
movies.
At this point, they know it's a
So
cash
it's
cow.
okay for Star Wars to do it, but not okay for Eat, Pray, Love to do it. Is
Because
what you're
Star
saying.
Wars isn't saying don't buy my toys. Eat, Pray, Love is saying give up the job you hate, give up the
Oh,
house
okay.
you don't want to
Okay.
pay for.
Oh, the actual message of the book is what you
Yes,
mean.
exactly.
I
And
got it. I got it now.
everything around it is counter to what that book is trying to
Yes.
get across.
Mhm.
Whereas Star Wars is like, hey, we got adorable teddy bears in this one. That kids will love that and they will buy all this crap. That's what I fear. They're just going to keep making Star Wars until they destroy the property.
Mhm.
It's just inevitable, and that sucks. We're just going to keep getting Star Wars films until they're terrible.
Yeah, that's
It's inevitable
generally what the trajectory is.
at this point.
And then we'll maybe stop for a while and then we'll come back and
Come
it'll be
back
great
to it.
again.
I wonder if they'll reboot it
I mean, Star Trek has been around for what, 50 years? So why not Star Wars? Right?
because it's different.
But it's a huge universe.
It is. I agree with you. It just
Mhm.
seeing, since Disney got their hands on it, they've done a good job so
Yeah.
far shepherding the property. But at the same time, Disney is really good about, capitalizing on what they have.
I'm excited for Star Wars Land.
So am I.
I see them constructing it every time I go there. I'm like, it's getting a little bit closer.
Well, it's still what 2-3 years away.
Probably, yeah.
I know my wife technically knows one of the guys that's designing a bunch of the different elements for it.
Nice.
And I've seen like rough sketches of nothing that's ever going to be put into production. It was kind of like, here's some ideas we have.
Right.
You're like, wow,
The
that's
pitches.
yeah. And who knows what actually gets made and whatnot. I've seen the stuff they put up, that you can get online and whatnot. But how often do you go to Disney?
Once a month.
Wow.
I have
Kids love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a good time there. Except for in the summer. I only go when people aren't there.
Oh yeah,
So
summer, no thank you.
I will not go when like everyone is there. That's pretty much spring break time, anytime in the summer, during Christmas time, Thanksgiving week, like out.
I go the
No.
first week of December. My wife and I, that's the only
Okay,
trip we
yeah,
make sure we
that's
go every
fine.
year because you get all the decorations.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, and all that stuff, but none of the lines. Like this
Mhm.
past year was, I think, the best year we've ever gone where it was 10 minutes or less to get on everything.
Yes,
So
that's
it
the
was just
best.
hanging
Gotta
out.
go on like a Wednesday.
Yeah, we
That's
go
the
on
best.
Tuesdays usually.
Tuesday is good. Tuesday through Thursday, those are the best times.
Okay. Yeah, you go
Mhm.
more often than I do. So
I go, well, when I go though, I pick up my kids from school and then we'll go for the evening. Like we'll get there at like 3 or 4. Because since we have passes, it's like we don't have to do the whole day thing. So,
so
and then
which
we'll
they
be there.
prefer, California Adventure or Disneyland?
They will say Disneyland, but they prefer California Adventure because they do more things there. There's more stuff for little
Yeah, with
younger
Cars Land.
kids. They don't even go in Cars Land. Sometimes they'll do Bugs Land, but they really like this place called Russell's Tracks. You probably don't even know it's there.
Where's it at? What's it by?
It's near the water ride, the California water
Oh,
ride.
yeah, which I've never gone on. I don't like getting wet at a
Yeah.
theme park because then
Okay.
I'm just
Yeah.
walking around wet for the rest of the day, and I hate
Right.
it. My shoes are wet, my socks and whatnot. I hate it as
Well,
a
plus when
kid.
you go
So
in December, I mean, you're not going to want to do
yeah,
that.
freeze.
But yeah. So right across from that is what's called Russell's Tracks, and it's like basically you can walk through all these different things, and you rock climb, and you can do this tire swing, and then you can walk on these ropes. The ropes are insane. I'm like, I'm done with the ropes, kids. You can meet me like my daughter's old enough now that I'm like, you can meet me by the cave and you go do the ropes and I'll be here. And so I'm like, yes, I
Does
don't have
she
to go up
watch
there.
her brother and like she's basically helping him navigate this, or she just does it on her own?
Well, when I went, I was just with her.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. And then with him, I still have to go with him through it. So
Yeah, I
I'm
haven't done
not
that.
completely out of it yet.
I've done a bunch of the others,
Hmm.
like the Goofy ride. That's fun.
Yeah.
And I've never done any of the Cars Land. I've walked through, but
The
I've
Cars
never.
Land ride is really good. It is.
Do you really want to wait an hour
You have
and
to get a
15
fast
minutes?
pass. So if you like get but we did it once where that was the first thing we did. We went in and got our fast pass. So then it was like 10 o'clock or whatever to come back.
I've never even
And that's
seen them
easy
offer fast passes for it. Every time I go,
because
just
they're
like,
already closed.
yeah, fast pass
Yeah.
is done for the day for this
You
ride.
have to be there first.
You're like, oh my God.
All right. Well, let's close this up. Thank you so much, Matt. That
Yeah.
was fun.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you to those that are in the waiting room, as I like to call it. I can see Randall Sands, Sizigili. I have no idea how you say that. Stuart, Chris Neha, Wheezing 336,
You might want to have that looked at.
Darth Wint. Check out that Wheezing.
Bring back top 10. Buddy, we're working on something. See, this has been 3 months of this where, like, I swear to you, I'm not just yanking your chain on this. We are actively trying to give the people what they want.
Sizigi. That's how I'm going to say it.
Sizigi?
Sizigi.
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 Wheezing is a Pokemon. Well, okay, I'm 38,
And
so all
hi,
of that escapes me.
CMJ replay, more vids 101. All right, thank you, everyone. Where can we find you, Matt?
You can find me on Twitter at Matt Knost, MATTKNOST.
Excellent. And you can find me on Twitter at Miss Movies. Tomorrow I have a schmodown against Wolves of Steel, so you'll see me in that. And maybe I'll be against someone sometime if anyone wants to challenge me. Apparently, no one wants to.
That's a load of crap. This is on record now. This will be up forever as long as YouTube exists. I submitted that I'd like to take her on, and for whatever reason, that was shot down. I do not know why.
I don't even know why I was an option then. Maybe it was just like one of those
Trust me.
throw this in there and we'll see what sticks.
I need to talk to the powers that be about that.
Okay. All right. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you on the next session of Film Therapy. Bye. 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 Bye.